Okay.
Even though, yeah, because Incursion, the courts were public. It was actually on the museum and then on the archive.
Oh, wow.
But no one went out there, so I just kept building.
That's amazing.
But when it went public, the Elytras were disabled.
Oh, right, yeah. It was a pain to get out
So it was much harder for anyone to get out there. But so what I did, I cleared an area and started building, but I built within a certain distance, so you could walk around all the aisles and none of it would load. Except for the old builds, Cthulhu, the Warriors, and Bob, they were on the islands. All the rest was built in this hole I made out of render distance. So you could walk all the way around and you would not see the rest of Incursion.
That is amazing.
And so just to make it safe. But then when he re-enabled Elytras, I thought, well, it's not going to last long now. But it did.
Yeah. That was weird. Like, I remember when Elytra were enabled, I kept expecting people to, because chunk finding was really, really prominent, and that's how people would chunk find. They would use Elytra. And I just kept expecting somebody to chunk find from Space Valk 3, the destroyed site, to the untouched site, because there were 2 copies. And I was like, surely somebody's just going to turn up on my front door. And it took an entire year for that to happen. And I was just like, well, I mean, good. I guess I can add on or possibly even finish this place. Obviously, now knowing what I know, that there was no way. There was no earthly way I was ever going to finish Space Valk 3 on 2B2T. That was just never in the cards. That was so unrealistic. Like, I thought it was going to happen simply because I was like, I've got this big idea in mind. I've got a ton of duplicated items, People think that it's been destroyed. What's going to stop me? And the Elytra enabling in late 2019, that, I swear, that probably doomed more bases than probably anything else. Maybe NoCom is the only other exploit I can think of that really just, like, everything was horrendously fucked.
Yeah, I was lucky with NoCom. Yeah. The only one that got found was Whitehaven. And,
yeah, they found Space Valk 3.
None of my stashes, anything like that. I did move them just in case. Better to be safe than sorry. Which is really annoying when you have extremely large stashes.
Yep.
But you get it done.
Yep.
Because you'll regret it if you don't.
Yep. Yeah, XCC2 told me that
nothing happened with Whitehaven. They didn't go to it or anything. So that ended up going down because of Jared. But we all knew that at the time. It was Jared's base.
Ah, well. But yeah, that's something XCC2 has told me before, that is a 2B2T mini game that many people end up playing whether they like it or not. And that is the mini game of moving items. And let me tell you, that is the most involved and annoying mini game I've ever had the misfortune of partaking in. Because let me tell you, there is nothing worse than being under the gun because oh, so-and-so has just visited my base. The TNT could start exploding at any moment. Better move every single item I duplicated during the chunk dupe. By the way, I had a single or double chest of items. Every item in the game from the chunk dupe. Because I thought that would be cool or something. I had no idea it would become such a burden. And then...
Oh, yeah.
And the next thing I know, it all gets blown up anyway. And that was the grand irony. It still all got blown up anyway. And I was just like, well, the nerds won this one. And now...
they won a lot, yeah.
Oh, God, did they?
It's really, there's nothing you can do. So,
move on.
It's much easier to find and grief a base than it is to build and keep it secret. If it's a big base, with multiple people.
Yep.
And as for the moving stuff, mate, I had 10 double chests of every block at one stash, which I had to move, and that was horrendous. Luckily, I had already moved a heap from another chunk dupe stash, and that was at Poseidon.
Oh, wow.
Because Jared found that. Actually, that was found because of NOCOM, he said. They gave him the coords to that, but he didn't destroy that base or anything.
Okay, well, good on him.
He just turned up.
Did he like you, or at least not care to harass or go after you or something? Because Jared doesn't seem to.
We got on okay.
Okay.
And that's why I went, because I needed a break from the bridge, and Jared invited me to a base. So I thought, well, I need a break from building. I'll go see what Jared wants. He's never done me any wrong, and I'll just piss around for a bit.
You got lucky then.
Yeah.
I knew Jared when he was a little child.
Happened. So my break from building was Whitehaven, which
was pretty
I got
good.
Burnt out on.
So. It's a pretty good little break, honestly.
Yeah, but yeah, I did get burnt out, and that's when the farmlands around it started. So instead of doing the big building, I just started building little farms and whatnot.
Well, good. Yeah, I've always wanted to, like, maybe in hardcore or something like that. I've always wanted to make my own Valley of Wheat tribute, sort of like that. I don't know.
It's very peaceful building the farms,
it's
and
interesting,
then you add a tree in just to get the sight line right, and you walk down this path several times and think, right, I need something here, so you build a little cart or something. You know, it's just not as taxing as doing the big mega builds or things like that.
You deplete some aspect of, I guess, something in your brain. You use up some store of energy or something. I've never really looked into it scientifically, but when you use up that store of energy, and it can take a while, especially when you get older. It takes a lot longer. You feel run down. You just can't. You can't do what you could, when you were less taxed, less, whatever.
Well, after a while, you start to feel, well, why should I do something that I'm not enjoying now? That seems like work.
Right.
So that's why I went to the farms. That was a bit more fun. It was smaller, and you sort of complete an area much quicker. So you get the pleasure of seeing what you've done much quicker. And that brings back a little bit of joy.
Well, good.
It's also good. I used to have like an overworld base and then an end base, so I could swap between. So you're always changing, change of scenery. I haven't got that at the moment. I've only got an overworld base at the moment.
Well, I've been bad about that. I only had an end base for years and years, for a good 4 years, pretty much. And when the nerds showed up at that first copy of Space Valk 3, and they destroyed it, and I was like, okay, well, I've got the other copy, but I've got next to no items now. What do I do? And it was the first time in literal years that I had logged in and gone to the overworld intentionally, and it was like I was in a different mindset. Everything was so wild and vibrant, colorful, yeah. And I was just like, this is, oh my god, yeah, I've been inside, or, well, not really inside, but I've been in a dark, dreary location for almost half a decade. It's that same feeling when you go into a movie theater and you get lost in the movie and you enjoy it and you zone out, you become the hero of the movie for however long. And then, of course, movie's over. And you go out to the big bad world outside and you go, oh shit, it's bright out here. Oh no, it's hot. Oh no, it's cold. It's different from, inside the movie theater. Wow. Oh, this is real life. Oh, I should have, how on earth did I depart from this? This is great. And yeah, I've missed living in the end, but I haven't missed living in the end. I don't know. I'm happy.
Well, it was that feeling, jumping from working on Incursion and then going at the time Poseidon, which was really colourful. It was in the overworld. It was that gave me, because I had the idea for the bridge at Moo when we were talking about bridges there. But it was that jumping between the dimensions that I realised I wanted to make an island of colour in the void, and that became the bridge.
Okay.
So I'm not good at using color, so I just force myself to use it.
You have to.
When I was younger, I did a lot of drawing, and it was always in lead pencil. Just
black and white monochromatic.
Yeah, and shaded. That was it. Never used color. So it was I really forced myself to do it. Other things like Poseidon itself, using the color there, that was easy. That was, you're doing coral and stuff like that. You just choose bright colors. It doesn't really matter.
Oh man, coral. That makes me so sad that 2B is not updated to 1.13 or greater.
You want to know what I'm doing right now?
Oh, what are you doing right now? I would love to.
Creative, my creative world, and I'm designing coral for my current build.
With what, wool or terracotta, concrete?
Yeah, all those.
Oh,
glass,
the whole thing. Okay.
Lots, sort of expanding on the whole Poseidon coral. So I've got a heap of new designs, and I'm going to incorporate into my new build.
Well, good. I look forward to whatever that becomes. I'm sure it'll get found, and that's how we'll hear about it, or something like that. But yeah, man, I can't wait. Oh, there's a lot of especially with Space Valk 3, there's a lot of anticipation I've got for doing the interiors are really kind of the next big step that I've got to take. And it's just
I hate interiors.
Oh, you do? I love interiors. Yeah. Oh,
I can't stand it. Way too much detail. In the later versions, you've got much more to work with, so you're luckier there.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, actually...
It's so limiting in 1.12.
Oh, yeah, 1.12 was quite limiting. Although I didn't feel like I was super limited, though I did feel like, obviously, things have... the versions have moved on, and we've been left behind. I remember seeing this really snazzy, modern-looking kitchen. And I ended up copying it and building it on Space Valk 3, so I've got a copy of it that I'll go and look at. And it was using campfires for it had a campfire underneath waterlogged slabs to simulate steam coming out of water, so like a bath. And then it had it under it's an iron trap door and some other things like that. And that's to simulate smoke coming off of a stove. And you can't do that. You can't do that. And it just makes me so sad. The barrel. The barrel is the perfect cabinet. It's an amazing cabinet that just fits. It's literal storage. It doesn't look bad. It can be a storage crate. It can be a water barrel. It can be the base of some sort of wooden support beam. It's such a versatile block, and you just don't have anything like that in the older versions of Minecraft.
No, I'm rather jealous.
Yeah, I don't blame you for being, but I'm sorry.
And I'm a little bit afraid, because I really want to go play with 1.19.
Oh,
but I'm afraid if I do, I will not come back.
Ooh. Well, we've got a fan server that I opened up about 2 weeks ago, and it's on 1.19.
I have been looking at that recently since you asked me about this interview, actually.
Oh, man. Well,
But I know if I do,
you won't come back, yeah.
I think.
I mean, I don't want to poach you, but, sometimes I had to go, well, okay, 2B2T is not what it used to be. I may just have to accept that it's not what it used to, and obviously I did have to accept that it wasn't what it used to be. And I was okay with leaving. And even if it updated, I don't know that I could really just, hop back into it. For starters, $20 a month just to be able to get in the front door. It's just
that doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, I know it doesn't, but it does to me. And I don't have that kind of money to just toss around freely anymore.
And it's much cheaper than my older hobbies. So.
Oh, really?
I mean, woodwork.
Oh yeah, that can be absurdly expensive.
I was a HEMA instructor and medieval,
Oh, wow.
recreation. So all the armor and weapons, and that was extremely expensive.
Oh, lordy, that must have been. Have you, do you watch any of the maker channels? I watch a bunch of makers like Peter Brown. What's that guy from He's in the UK. I can't remember his name at the moment. But yeah, there are a bunch of those, and they make some wonderful things. They woodwork. They use resin. They do a bunch of really like interesting, dynamic, stuff like what you talked about. And
yeah, I'm a real nut for the medieval stuff.
Medieval stuff. Okay.
3 full suits of armor.
Wow.
13th century, 14th century, and a 15th century, which is all full plate. The shiny steel.
Jeez, that had to.
My favourite is the 14th century, though. It's much easier to wear and fight in.
Did you make that all by hand? I take it.
No, armourers make some of it, and I make some of it. I had friends who helped make some of it, and some of it you can buy online, like all the mail.
Oh wow. Yeah,
and then you've got to tailor it to fit you, of course. But
yeah, mail is a popular sort of. It's kind of become, I don't know what would be sort of like, it's a retro kind of look. I don't know why people like it myself, but whatever, to each their own. Yeah, it's not a bad little design. I kind of like it. I know there's a guy who does a lot of science videos. His name is Cody, and he's the owner of the Cody's Lab channel, and he wears copper mail that he made himself. And for whatever reason, he's just like, yeah, this is a really cool, because it's heavy. This is a nice way to get a workout. This is, a really weird sort of like conversational piece. It's just stuff like that.
Why would he make it out of copper?
Yeah, he made it out of copper. It's also apparently antibiotic or antimicrobial or something, because copper kills, microbes. And I was it was very, very weird, but. Yeah, to each their own. Everybody's got some sort of weird, odd hobby.
Yep, and mine was hitting people with big metal objects.
It's a good hobby to have. I mean,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I take it you had to retire, though, from it.
I had my last fight, both real fight in the HEMA and, putting on a show, theatrical fights, when I was 50. I thought, well, this is it.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old for this.
It's not the sort of thing.
It wasn't so much the like the real fighting. That was much easier than the theatricals, because theatricals wearing all the armor and everything. In real fighting, you're just wearing modern day protective gear. But it was the training to keep you on. After work, I'd train for 2 hours, and on weekends, anywhere from 4 to 10 hours a day. I really enjoyed it, but it took a toll.
Yes, yeah. At a certain point, your body does not want to be taxed physically so much anymore. I rollerblade. I know that isn't much comparatively, but even I've started to feel. I'm only 33, so I haven't started feeling like super stressful aches and pains. But if I ever take a break, and for whatever reason, the weather's inclement or something like that, I feel it. I don't like that feeling, but like, your body doesn't want to behave. Too. Say what?
It'll come on quicker too. As you get older,
it'll
just, it'll get worse and really quick. And then before you know it, well, I got to give this up.
Oh, I hope I don't end up having to do that. I want to be able to roller skate into my 60s or 70s, because it's an excellent means of working out. It's so liberating, and like it's fast paced, so you feel like you can just essentially do the same as what you would do on a jog or on a run of some kind, but because you're moving so fast, you feel like you're flying too. It's something else. It really is. And yeah, the idea of having to give that up is not something I'm looking forward to. I really hope I've got a few more years in me.
Well, it's not overly taxing, so you should be alright for
I hope.
Quite a lot longer than
it's
fighting.
It's not taxing until you fall flat on your ass. If you like what I do, show me some love and subscribe for more.